Hey everybody, we're here for a new episode of RLG Cast Reviews. I'm here with Johnny Jones 777, and today we're talking Joker
Joker.
2, Singing in the Rain.
Folie au deux.
Singing in the Rain.
Joker singing in the rain. Yeah,
Um,
basically.
okay, so you're gonna tell them what happens in this movie.
Okay, so the Joker, basically, Joker, this movie is he's in prison after the crimes of the first film. And I think this takes place right after because this is the court proceedings to see whether he's guilty or if he's like mentally unstable. It's basically a court drama for Joker
Yeah, with random singing.
with random singing and Lady
Um,
Gaga.
yeah, it's basically
The
but
trial of the Joker.
it had to have been more down the road because they talk about how there's a TV movie about the events that happened.
Mhm.
So that's why I would assume that, but
I would say maybe okay, let's for safety's sake, let's say a year, maybe.
yeah, it's not that far down the road. Um, but yeah, okay, so this was a movie
Hmm.
that happened. I'm convinced. So before we can talk absolute uh nonsense before we get to the spoiler section, so I'm gonna allow
Okay.
it. I'm convinced that in a fit of rage, I'm just saying that for funsies,
Okay.
uh Todd Phillips not wanting to make a sequel when they offered him a budget of up to $200 million was like, okay, I'm gonna spend every single cent. None of it is gonna go into this movie.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know
Joker
what
was
he did.
supposed to be a standalone film.
Yeah, and he spent all the budget. Probably had a really good time with everyone on set.
I'm sure
And
there were a
that's
lot of party favors going along.
yeah, and then that's this is what the movie is. This
Yeah.
movie I don't think is like an FU to the fans. I think it's an FU to like
DC.
Warner Brothers
Yeah.
because it's not a poor idea for a movie. It's just not executed well.
I would like, I mean, if this was a standalone courtroom drama about the Joker, this would have been th had the potential.
Yeah, and because like people always forget too, this is not actually the Joker.
No,
This is
it's Arthur
just
Fleck.
like he vaguely wore clown makeup for a bit of the film.
Yeah. And then spoiler for we'll talk about this in the spoilers after what happens in the court, but yeah, I don't know. And the song choices too. I didn't like their
That's
song.
I think was my biggest issue because like okay, the music, at least when Lady Gaga was singing, was really good.
Yeah, well, obviously
Um,
she can sing.
he's such a bad singer that it's
Yeah.
scary. And like I even wrote this in my review on Instagram. Even if they
Yeah, I
meant
read it.
even if they meant for him to do this because it's Arthur Fleck and he's not
Yeah.
a singer, it's so ear-piercingly awful that listening to those songs it drives me like nuts watching the movie.
Yeah. Like I
I,
mean I don't know. It's
and but you're right, the choice of songs is really strange.
yeah.
Why did you if it's gonna be a juice
Yeah.
box, it's gonna be a juice
Juice
box,
box.
it's gonna be a juice box musical. Pick some good fucking songs. Not that those songs are not good, but like they don't fit.
They don't fit. Yeah.
Like where did they come from?
I don't know.
Like why would it's the 80s? Give me some Cyndi Lauper, you know?
Yeah. When she
Girls
bur-
just want to have
when
fun, the
when
Jillos.
when when Lee what's her name? Not Lee, Harley Quinzel there. She sets the asylum on fire. That's when you need to play Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Yeah, see, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. Or like when he Joker gets
Burning
put
down the
into
house.
solitary, you play I think I'm alone now. I'm alone now, not we're
Yeah.
alone now. Um,
I mean, burning down the house would have worked too.
that would have worked very well. Burning down the house. Or she's a brick house
She's a brick. Yeah,
when
the
she's locked
Commodores.
in when we're in the jail.
Yeah, yeah,
Anyways, listen, we just like let's get over this.
yeah.
I think the performances are really good.
Oh, there was one. What's his name? Thinking of that actor's names. Lee Gill, the guy who played Puddles, Mr. Puddles.
Mr. Puddles.
He was fantastic. Like
Yeah,
when he
he
was
was
on
good
the
in the
witness
first one.
stand, like you really felt for the guy.
And your real name is Puddles. That was really it's like the movie is not who. I
No,
don't understand
it's not as poorly written as they say it is.
I don't understand the this sudden like hate for this movie because it's not good. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like this is like some excellent movie.
People are sheep. So when one person hates it, everybody's gonna hate it
Yeah, and it's like it's so odd because like
because it's the cool thing to do.
there's enough entertainment value in this movie alone that it can't be that rated that low.
No, is it as good as the first one? Nowhere
No, it's
near.
not even close. That's one of the best comic book movies ever made because it was
Yeah.
different. And this movie's different too, but it's different in a way where they all of the writing is really good ideas that just never follow through.
Materialized, yeah.
It's like a bunch of things that got cut off halfway. Like they forgot to about writing the rest of the stories, and they
Like
just like were like, okay, we got to do this.
I'm not upset, like you said, about the musical aspect. If they cut the musical aspect out of it completely, okay, take the musical aspect out of it completely, focus on the story between Fleck and Quinzel and the courtroom drama, this had the potential to be a great film.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I don't want to go into spoilers yet, but so I don't know. I think, like I said, it's well filmed too. It
Hmm.
looks excellent.
Yeah.
It's but like there's nothing in this movie that costs 200 million dollars is what you pay for Transformers. That's
Yeah.
all CGI and huge action scenes and big explosions and practical effects mixed with all the CGI and all the famous actors attached to it. Like I just don't know where
Mind
you
you,
spent the
probably
money.
50 million of it just went to Gaga and
No, I
Phoenix just
doubt
to
it.
for their
I mean,
salaries.
I heard they did get paid well because he just didn't care and he wanted to give them like a payday.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like Brandon Gleeson was really good.
Hmm.
Catherine Keener was really good. I didn't like Steve Coogan. I don't know why
No.
he was here.
Yeah.
That role was really odd to me.
Yeah.
Um,
But like I said, Lee Gill, Puddles, he stood out for me. They even brought in they brought Zazie Beats back too.
yeah, she was good in that little role. Lady Gaga was better than I thought she was gonna be. Um,
Yeah.
but the character's not fleshed out. There's not enough there, and it to me that was the best part of the movie was their relationship, and then it's like you,
I honestly think this was the studio
yeah,
putting their fingers in it because after the success of the first Joker, they wanted to create a whole new line called DC Black and have like this like a dark universe type of thing.
yeah,
Like
that's the Batman was supposed to be part of
right.
that.
I think this was supposed to be a completely different character, but the studio said no, it's Harley Quinn.
That's possible because on the initial release, her name was supposed to be something different,
Yes.
and then they changed it to be Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Harleen Quinzel. They never really called her Harley Quinn, but
Whatever, I'm gonna call her whatever the fuck I want to call
yeah.
her. Anyways, I don't know if we need to do any more reviewing. It's
No.
half of a good movie, but it's not like the first half or the second half. There's just little pieces throughout of it that make
Yeah.
half of a good movie. I will give it a 6 out of 10.
I'm right up there. I'm 6'1", 6'2", somewhere in there.
No, it's not that bad. It's not like a good. I'm
It's
never
not a
gonna
3.
recommend this to you, but it's
If
not.
if you like comic book movies, just give it a shot.
It's entertaining enough that it's not a waste of time,
Yeah.
but it's not something I would recommend.
If you got nothing to do on a Saturday night, and you want to watch it, watch it.
Yeah.
Don't go out
Also,
of your way to watch it.
everyone's calling it a failure. I'll have you know it's made over $150 million at the box office in 2 weeks. I don't know what kind of failure that
Well, it
is, or
hasn't reached its budget yet. In order for it to be a success, it needs to hit
fair, but
4.
the failure is allowing this movie to cost $200, not
$200.
not
Wow, they did it on a
sorry, $200
shoestring.
million. That was the failure. Not $151 million for a courtroom musical is insane,
We needed
right?
Sam Jackson come in and say, yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Exactly. There you go. Anyways, we're going into full spoilers now, so get lost.
Mhm.
Let us know what you think. Anyways, um, I really liked that Arthur in this movie is he's changing. His
He's
mom, like
battling.
his life was bad.
Hmm.
His mom was constantly holding him down. Like his
Yeah,
outburst was an outburst of like 50 years
of mental abuse.
of yeah, mental abuse. And then he realized that what he did is wrong and he's like slowly coming around. The problem in this movie is Harley is a bad influence,
Is
like
a
really
manipulator.
bad.
And
She likes
they even said to him that she's just using you. When she's bored of you, she's going to move along, which she did.
she also only liked him because he was like a crazy murderer.
Hmm.
She didn't care that about anything about him. So that I
Yeah.
mean that I thought that was weird.
I mean, I did enjoy like Arthur representing himself.
That was wicked.
Yeah.
But
So
there's
like I
like
said, the seeds were there. There was potential there.
there's limits, right? Like in
Like
what
I could
world is a
see like
courtroom
for
gonna let
example
you
like
come in with your face painted, especially
yeah.
like the person you dressed up as when you murdered people?
Yeah. Like I could see this like in an old episode of Batman the Animated Series, I could see Mark Hamill's Joker representing himself in court. Like I could see that happening.
That's what this literally felt like, one of those weird episodes of that show, of the animated
Yeah.
series, that where they
Like
just
the
did
one
like
where
a
they're all
bunch of
playing
wacky shit.
cards.
Yeah, exactly. Just like a weirdo episode where they had music, they decided to sing for the whole episode.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like the
you get
Buffy
that
episode.
that random episode of Supernatural and they're everyone's singing and you're like, well, what's
Buffy, yeah.
happening?
There was the Buffy episode too.
Yeah, exactly. See? And it's like it's very funnily enough, it's very what the hell's that guy's name that made the Buffy guy made the
Oh,
first
Joss Whedon.
Avengers?
This
It's
was
very
definitely
Joss Whedon.
it felt like a Joss Whedon thing.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think like it looks too good and the
Hmm.
acting is too good to just point at this movie and say it's shit. And I don't understand where
It's
that's
not
coming from.
shit. It's stinky, but it's not shit yet.
Yeah, it's right. It's for me, it's personally, it's probably lower than a six, like in terms of what I wanted out of a movie.
Yeah.
But from like an objective standpoint, there's too much entertainment value here
Yeah.
and good stuff, technically from a movie
Yeah.
making standpoint, to be like, oh, this movie's a one. Like
No.
that's insane to me. You're just
Um,
butthurt. Stop being like,
yeah. So like I said, I think this may have been studio involvement forcing Quinn down our throats, forcing
yeah, that's
Harvey
what that
Dent as
was.
the DA,
Yeah, and I thought that was a weird addition because he serves no purpose in this movie except for
and he
existing and
becomes
having the name.
Two-Face.
Does he?
Yeah, the court when towards the end of the movie when the courtroom explodes, he loses half his face.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Like they completely changed like his origin story without Batman.
But there's no Batman.
That's the thing. There's no Batman in this universe. And should we talk about the end?
Go talk about the end.
They kill Arthur Fleck in prison after, so he escapes. He goes to find Dr. Quinzel, okay? And what happened is they even called her Lee in this movie. They didn't even call her Dr. Quinzel. They just called her Lee. So he goes to find her and she rejects him because he rejected his Joker persona at the end in court where he pleaded guilty. He was going to plead guilty, and that's when the courtroom explodes. So he was going to admit his guilt. So he goes to find Lee. She rejects him because he rejected the Joker persona, which I don't know how she found out already because it literally just happened.
That's the bad part of the writing.
All right.
And it's
So
1980. There's no cell phones or
there's no
internet.
cell phones, there's no internet, right? And she rejects him. And then he gets arrested again and then gets shanked in prison.
But I think that that was purposely done by Todd Phillips because he doesn't want to make another movie.
No.
He was like, I'm going to make a batshit crazy courtroom drama that has musical scenes in it, and I'm just going to kill the main character so that
Yep.
you can't make me do this again.
So what they did was they gave you another Joker.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. So this way they can retain the rights and keep making these movies.
Yeah, and this way he doesn't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that final scene is pretty good.
If it was not like if they didn't imply that that's that that's the actual Joker because he cuts his face after like right he gives himself the smile right if it was just a guy who's like you're an idiot and kills him in prison just because he wanted to kill him in prison I would have been fine with that ending but it's when you're forcing stuff down our throat is what I don't like. Let the movie flow naturally. Tell the story. Let the story grow organically. They're doing what Sony tried to do and like, oh, this is popular. Let's do a Sinister Six movie. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like,
Yeah, and like, can we like who wants a Sinister Six movie? Like, what's a Sinister Six movie gonna be about if it doesn't have Spider-Man or Venom?
yeah,
Because you're not having Venom. After this movie, he's done with Venom.
Hardy's done. Yeah.
So are you gonna bring in what's the other guy who plays
Go for
Venom?
Grace.
No, what's the other Venom? The not
Yeah, the guy from that 70s. So
Okay, hold on.
Topher.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. Eddie Brock
Hmm.
is
Oh,
Venom.
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson. Thank you.
Tom Revolori is gonna
I guess.
Agent Venom.
Sure, it'll be like a 4 foot tall Asian Venom.
Agent Venom.
Asian Venom. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like you said. It wasn't as bad as they made it out to be, but it's still pretty bad, and the potential was there for so much more, so much more.
Yeah, I mean, but it didn't need a sequel. This movie absolutely didn't need a sequel from day
No,
one. It doesn't.
this if this was a one and done, this is the studio trying to cash in on a success
Yeah, and
because
this is
DC
them,
has not had a success in a long time
the Batman.
before Joker,
Oh, okay.
right? Because you had like after Joker, you had like Blue Beetle, which was not as successful as they hoped it would be. They had
Yeah, you had
Flash,
Aquaman 2, The
which was
Flash,
this was
Shazam
worse.
2.
Oh, Aquaman 2 was worse than this, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Blue
I
Beetle
thought
and Flash were
Aquaman 2
better.
just it also has raw entertainment value, but like is it a good movie? No.
The writing, like at least here, the writing had like flashes of brilliance and flashes of potential. Aquaman 2 is just garbage.
But like there's two camps here. There's this
Mhm.
there's like the majority of people that are 1 out of 10s. And then there's this weird group of critics online that are like, this is
Nines.
a masterpiece, this is an absolute masterpiece.
Oh, we see Todd Phillips' vision.
What vision? No, but this is the part. Now that we know that
His
he's
vision is
admitted,
that meme of Mr. Krabs with the dollar signs in his eyes,
yeah,
counting his money.
the now that we know because he said it himself that this movie is not um it's not a fu to the fans. He didn't write this to like go
No.
against the incel movement and all that stuff. So that takes away all of the brilliance that those people were writing about originally until he said that. Because
Hmm.
that's what the vision that they saw was. It was like a faux pas to the first movie.
Yeah. This
No.
was an FU to the studio.
Yeah, big time.
You
Big
want to give
time.
me $200 million? Sure.
And I guarantee you they didn't watch the movie. Before release, they watch it to be like, no,
Yeah.
we can't do this.
Yeah.
Here's
But
$200 million. Go do reshoot.
just do it. Just do a reshoot. Yeah. I bet you there
Good.
were reshoots of this film that Todd Phillips had nothing to do with.
I don't know. They should have just got Martin Scorsese to do it.
Because you know how much he loves superhero movies.
I don't know. I don't have anything else. Do you have
Yeah,
anything
I'm
else?
done with this too.
All right, guys. Thanks for
Watch it if you
watching.
want.
Yeah, watch it if you want or whatever. All right. Peace out.